Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's January, which means I've been holed up in my cave, hacking into the mainframe, scouring the internet for information on the best games that are coming out this year.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
So, if you want to know what my most anticipated board games are for 2023, then might I suggest? Hi, I'm Alex from Might I Suggest a Game, a channel devoted to helping you find your perfect board game. Today, like I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated games for 2023. I have a feeling that this year is going to be a great year for board games, but I also think there's probably going to be less games overall published this year than in past years. Over the last couple years, there's been plenty of drama with crowdfunding and production and shipping delays, so my guess is that this year the publishers are going to back off a little bit on the production, but in doing so are going to make sure the quality of their games are just that much better. Anyways, it definitely felt like there were less games to go through this year than in the past, but there were still a lot of really good games out there, and I'm excited to talk about them. Anyways, if you have any games that you're looking forward to this year that don't show up on my list, drop them below in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe and that little bell button so you can get notified when I post new content. This year, my list isn't in any particular order because I'm super excited about all of these games. But enough with the chit chat, let's get into it. Will one of my most anticipated games of 2023 be the perfect game for you? Let's find out, shall we? The first game we're going to be talking about today is Tabriz. Even though the title sounds like some off-brand clothing spray, Tabriz really caught my eye because it's the newest design from Randy Flynn, the designer of Cascadia, which we really enjoyed last year. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Randy lives somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, so it's always great to support local designers. Anyways, one of the things that stood out for me in Tabriz was its contract fulfillment mechanic. I love games where you have to plan ahead to collect the specific resources that you need for your specific objectives, and Tabriz feels like it has a really streamlined approach to that. It also reminds me a lot of the game Istanbul, which is a bit of an older title, but it still holds up. In Istanbul, you have to be really smart about how you plan ahead for things, and Tabriz feels like it requires that same amount of forethought. I really like games that you can plan ahead a little bit in, but don't require that much brain power, and Tabriz feels like it could really hit that nice light to medium weight range for me. Now, I mentioned this a little bit when I talked about Sobek 2 players last year, but the Middle Eastern market theme has kind of been done before, but I'm hoping the mechanics of this one are good enough to help me overlook all of that. Anyways, Tabriz looks like it'll be light and quick, but still have some really interesting decisions to make, which is always something that I'm looking for because it's very likely to get to the table in my household. Either way, the mechanics seem smooth and the production seems really great, so I'm really excited to check out Randy Flynn's follow-up to Cascadia, Tabriz. The next one up is actually a reimagining of a 1992 game by Reiner Knizia. It's Vadis. Now, this game is based on the original game called Quo Vadis, which was all Roman senator themed, but I love the new retheming of being a part of a zoo, and the art by Kwanchai Moria, who also did the art for Empire's End, a game that I talked about recently, is just immaculate. As you can tell, I'm a sucker for good art, and when you're talking about anticipated games, sometimes the art is all you have to go off of. Either way, the art and what I've seen about the gameplay have me really excited about this one. Mechanically, it actually seems quite simple as you're just trying to move through the zoo and get to the end quickly and score the most points on the way. But where it starts to go off the rails a little bit is when they add in the negotiation mechanic.
Why fight when you can negotiate?
Now, usually negotiation mechanics are basically relegated to party games or social deduction games, so I'm really interested in this combination of negotiation and a strategy game. I always love when games combine two mechanics that don't usually go together, and this game feels like it has the potential to play differently than any game I've ever played before, other than Quo Vadis, of course. Plus, I heard they added in a few extra elements that actually improve the gameplay from the original, so that has me excited as well. Anyways, I love the updated art, I love the fun theme, and the gameplay seems super interesting. So that's why I'm really excited to check out Vadis from Reiner Knizia and Bitewing Games. The next one up is a really light and fun game called Gasha. I'm always looking for these quick and easy to teach card games to introduce to my friends and use as fillers between bigger games, so I was super stoked when I found this new one from 25th Century Games. Gasha is based on the classic gashapon machines from Japan, which was one of my favorite things to do when I was there. So that fun, kind of nostalgic theme for me really drew me in. Plus, the art in the game is super cute and seems very accessible for a lot of different people. Also, like I mentioned before, I feel like this game can be super quick. I think I watched a playthrough of it that only took about 15 minutes. To me, that's the perfect length of game for a great card game filler, and I really think if I brought this one to the table, people would get excited about it.
I like this. This is nice.
Now, there is a sort of luck element involved when you draw cards, but not only does it feel super thematic, considering it's based on Gasha machines where you don't know what you're gonna get until you open it up, but it also doesn't bother me much because the game doesn't last for very long. Usually I'm a little wary of these luck-based components because it might affect your strategy or your long-term plans in maybe a heavier game. But because this one's so light, bring it on. I think it adds a lot of fun to the game and makes it feel special. Anyways, this game has really cute art, a super fast playtime, and the theme really reminds me of my time in Japan, so that's why I'm really interested in checking out Gasha from 25th Century Games. Sticking with the Asian theme here, the next game that I'm excited about is Steam Up from Hot Banana Games. I've been following this project for a while now. I backed their Kickstarter because I was super excited to have a game about dim sum. I love dim sum, and it feels like they're really doing it justice with the gameplay and the production too. I've been following along on all the production updates, and every time I see one of those little squishy dumplings that they're making, it just gets me more and more excited to get my hands on this game.
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy.
Also, I will mention the production is really cool, the gameplay is really fun, but one of the main reasons I'm really looking forward to this project is because I met the folks from Hot Banana Games at Gen Con last year, and they were some of the nicest folks there. I love to support friends in the industry, and building a personal connection with them has made me feel personally connected to this game too. Anyways, I wish them all the best in the final stages of production and delivery for their Kickstarter, and I'm really looking forward to getting this one in the mail and getting it to the table. It's got some amazing components, cute illustrations, a really awesome theme, and it's made by some really nice people. So that's why I'm super excited about Steam Up from Hot Banana Games. I'm always on the lookout for new games by designers of other games that I really enjoy, and so when I saw that the designers of Three Sisters were back at it with another combo-tastic roll and write, I was all in from the jump. Motor City, which is from the same publisher as Gasha and Three Sisters, is a new strategic roll and write game all about running an auto plant in Detroit. It feels like it'll have the same complexity as other heavier roll and write games like Hadrian's Wall or Fleet the Dice game, and if it's as streamlined and combo-tastic as Three Sisters is, then I am super excited about this one. I also think the theme could be really cool. It kind of reminds me of that movie Ford vs. Ferrari or something. And even though I'm not particularly into cars, I have a number of friends that are, so I have a feeling this one will be a hit with them. Anyways, I love when a roll and write has a little bit of extra oomph to it, and Motor City feels like it's really gonna scratch that itch for me. It looks like it's gonna have all the fun combos and bonuses of their previous strategic roll and writes, plus the theme is one that hasn't really been done a lot. So all of that is why I'm really excited to check out Motor City from 25th Century Games. The next one I'm super excited to try out is Tribes of the Wind from Boite de Jeu. First off, I mean, just look at this game. Even if I didn't know anything about the game, I would still be looking at that one on the shelf and being like, I wonder what that game is about. Luckily, when I read some more stuff about the gameplay, it also seems like the type of game that I'd be into. Tribes of the Wind is a combination of some tile laying and some hand management mechanics that force you to plan ahead and have to make some tough decisions on your turn. It also looks like there's some asymmetrical player powers, which I always enjoy because I feel like it gives the game some more replayability. Now, there hasn't been a ton released about this game, but enough about the gameplay. Let's just talk about this art. I mean, I know myself, I'm a sucker for good art, but the artist for this game, Vincent Dutray, is just on another level. The combination of the art style and the theme are giving off super strong Studio Ghibli vibes, specifically Nausicaa, which is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films. And I just feel like I wouldn't even have to play this game, I just need to look at it for hours.
You know, when I see a car like this, first thing I do is I say, would you look at this? You know what I mean?
Anyways, here's the hoping the gameplay is even half as good as the art style. For me, that's usually the threshold for Vincent Dutray illustrated games. I'm realizing now that I'm kind of starting to sound like a broken record, but a cool theme, some awesome art, and a designer or an artist that I really love seems like it's the formula to get on this list. But anyways, this game feels like it's going to be the type of game that lets me live out my best Studio Ghibli fantasies. So that's why I'm excited about Tribes of the Wind from Boite de Jeu. speaking of Vincent Dutrait, one of the things that makes him so good is that he's so prolific. So let's talk about another game that he's illustrating for, the A.R.T project. It's truly baffling to me to see how many games Vincent Dutrait has been working on lately, and I just pray that he doesn't get burnt out so that he can keep sharing this amazing art style with the world. Now speaking of art, the A.R.T project is a cooperative game about a reverse heist. Yes, you heard that right. Players will be working together to steal back stolen pieces of art.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I love a good Robin Hood vigilante story, so immediately this theme drew me in. Unfortunately, there's not a ton online about the actual gameplay, but Lumberjacks Studio has done a couple of really good games like Trek 12 and Oh My Brain, which makes me feel like this game is in good hands. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Vincent Dutrait plays these games before he signs on to them, and I trust his taste. I love a good cooperative game, the cover art is already amazing, duh, and the theme seems really fun, so that's why I'm excited about the A.R.T project from Lumberjacks Studio. Okay, the next one is another project that backed on Kickstarter next year. It's Castles by the Sea. Now, I'm not like some of y'all. I'm not just backing all these Kickstarters left and right. So when I say I backed a Kickstarter, it's a pretty big deal. Luckily for me, I got a chance to play a prototype of this game before I backed it, and that's what really sealed the deal for me. Castles by the Sea has these really tactile components. They're just these big wooden blocks, which makes the strategic abstract puzzle of it feel kind of like child's play. The game itself was really easy to pick up, and again, surprise, surprise, the art for the game is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, art. Love art.
I love the toy factor of this one. I love how it's easy to learn but difficult to master. And I'm really excited to get my pledge in this year so that I can play this over and over again. I also have a feeling that those wooden blocks are going to be a hit with my 2-year-old. Anyways, this game is another one with the triple threat. Cool art, a fun theme, and some unique gameplay, which is why I'm super excited to play Castles by the Sea from Brotherwise Games this year. Alright, 2 more to go. My second to last one that I'm excited about is Gosu X. First of all, Gosu X is being published by a company with one of the best names in board games. Sorry, we are French. Every time I read that, it just cracks me up. But even though the publisher's name is funny, this game is no joke. On a lot of my other channels, I'm always getting asked for recommendations for 2-player card duelers like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, and this one feels like it's gonna fit really well in that category. It kind of reminds me of Rift Force, which is a game from Capstone that came out a little while ago, where you have these different factions that have different abilities and you shuffle them together at the beginning of the game to create a unique deck every time you play, but Gosu X feels like it takes it to the next level. Once again, the art looks amazing and the gameplay seems both familiar and exciting at the same time. The game comes with 8 different clans in it, and each game you and your opponent are going to be building decks with 3 of those clans each. But the tricky part is here, the 2 ones that aren't chosen will change the rules of the game.
What a twist!
I'm really excited to learn more about this one, and I feel like it has the potential to be a really cool card dueler that isn't really a collectible card game, but still have plenty of opportunities to add more clans as the game grows. So will Gosu X be Magic the Gathering for non-Magic players? Who knows, but that's why I'm excited to check out Gosu X from Sorry We Are French. And lastly, let's talk about Vivarium. Or Vivarium or Vivarium?
What?
Either way, when Danny from Hachette Games compared this one to collecting Pokemon, you know I was all in. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and even though this game might be a little bit of a knockoff Pokemon, I'm still really excited about it. In Vivarium, you're going to be collecting plants and monsters and different equipment and contracts that'll help you get objectives at the end of the game, which immediately sounds like a really fun set collection puzzle. There's also a really interesting domino mechanic where you're playing a domino with a domino that's already in the middle, and you get to take a card from the row and the column that that domino supports. It kind of reminded me of the tableau selection mechanic in Meadow, if you've ever played that one. I thought that one was really cool, so I'm excited to see how this one works. Anyways, I love the art style of this one. I think the production is really cute, and the gameplay seems really fun and lightweight and easy to explain to other people. Now, the only thing I'm really concerned about this one would be the replayability of it, but I have to play it first to find out. But the other stuff that I mentioned has me chomping at the bit to play it, so that's why I'm excited to check out Vivarium from Studio H this year. Thanks for sticking around for my top 10 most anticipated games of 2023. There were hundreds of games to sift through this year, and to narrow them down to a list of 10 means I inevitably missed a few that I'm sure you're interested in. So let me know in the comments, what games are you most looking forward to this year? Anyways, I have a feeling that this year's gonna be a pretty big year for the channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for everyone that supported me so far. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep growing this channel and keep helping you find your perfect board game. Once again, this has been a Might I Suggest a Game production, and I'm Alex, your board game sommelier, signing off.